un bon résultat pour le Canada, oui. Alors c'est Maki, oui, le 14e, oui, c'est très impressionnant.
On a suivi, elle a bien fait.
Oui, elle a très bien fait.
Impressionnant.
Oui, alors, ok, ça va?
Monsieur Carney, tout d'abord, concernant la participation du Canada aux 400 millions de barils de pétrole à l'Agence internationale de l'énergie, on parle de 23 millions de barils pour le Canada. Où ce pétrole sera-t-il? Avez-vous un échéancier? Je vais vous demander de répondre en français et en anglais.
En français et en anglais, OK. Tout d'abord, les règles de l'Agence d'énergie internationale en ce qui concerne les réserves pétrolières. Si on est un exportateur, comme le Canada, comme la Norvège, ce n'est pas nécessaire d'avoir une réserve. Alors, mais tous les autres pays, ils sont des importateurs. Les États-Unis, c'est un peu différent parce que les États-Unis viennent de commencer d'être un exportateur. Alors, pour le Canada, nous n'avons pas une réserve de pétrole, mais nous fournissons du pétrole. Et je crois que le ministre des Ressources naturelles, il a souligné le fait que le Canada va exporter plus des barils de pétrole. Alors, c'est pas plus compliqué que ça.
C'est pas une augmentation de production.
Ouais, il y a une marge de manœuvre d'une augmentation, mais c'est le contrainte au Canada maintenant, c'est les oléoducs et tout cela. C'est une des raisons pour lesquelles on travaille avec la province de l'Alberta afin d'avoir un autre oléoduc. And now in English, and I'm gonna add one other thing in English, and you can ask me to do it in French at the end. So under the arrangements in the IEA, the exporters of oil like Norway, like Canada, we don't have to have reserves because we're providing oil to the market. It's for people who are importers. They have to have reserves so that they can buffer those. It's like foreign exchange reserves. And the rules are you should have at least 90 days reserves for those importers. What we do is we provide oil to the global market. We will continue to do so because we are a safe, low risk, low cost, and increasingly low carbon exporter. And what the Minister of Natural Resources was referring to was the perspective, what the upcoming exports that we'll be doing, the 23.8 million. I actually don't know the exact time frame he was referring to. I could do the calculation. Someone else maybe might do it. We have some margin to maneuver, but the part of our constraint, both we have to increase production, take some investment in the oil sands and elsewhere. The thing I was going to add is one of the conversations I had today was with Equinor about Bay du Nord, which is a very attractive project off Newfoundland, which we look to move forward. That will provide additional, not in the short term, but in the medium term. Again, very low carbon oil in terms of production and transportation, which is one of the reasons why it's attractive. So that's what we do. That's our contribution.
Donc, Equinor, ça avance.
Pardon?
Donc, Equinor, vous avez eu une bonne rencontre.
Oui, c'est une bonne rencontre avec lui. Il y a des bonnes rencontres avec beaucoup de sociétés ici afin de...
votre réponse sur Equinor, l'ajout que vous avez
avec l'Equinor, oui, il y a un grand projet à côté de Terre-Neuve et on a eu une discussion très productive avec eux.
So is this actually an increase in production?
It's our contribution, to repeat, which is what I just said, is to produce.
But is it sort of the existing amount of oil?
It's the amount. That is what we produce. It's not. We don't release it. We produce it. It goes out into the export markets. But the point is, if you look at it, if I may, Prime Minister, from Norway's perspective, from Canada's perspective, we are low risk producers of oil. We are low-risk producers of natural gas. We're reliable. We can produce. We're in jurisdictions where what we produce will go to market, and we can deliver it to market. And that is a contribution in a world which has lost, in effect, in the oil case, 15% potentially, some buffer on that of its oil flow. and 20% of its natural gas flow.
Will it make a difference?
It would certainly make a difference, Murray, if it wasn't being produced. And listen, the oil market is tight. That's the reality. And when you have a tight market, what you need in a tight market, the last thing you need in a tight market is to have more problems. And Canada is part of the solution in that regard.
Prime Minister, it's your one-year anniversary. You promised major projects. You promised to remove tariffs that the U.S. had levied on
I did not promise to. I promised the best deal for Canada. That's the difference, Judy. And we have the best deal for Canada right now.
4,000 jobs were lost in February. What results do you have in this first year that you can present to Canadians? I think many Canadians would feel that it is a disappointment.
Judy, I'd say the following. First is we've created 84,000 net jobs since I became Prime Minister. The United States created about 6,000 jobs over that period of time. Secondly, in terms of major projects, that's the first point. The second is that every month wages have grown faster than inflation. In fact, you saw in the most recent month wage growth above 4%. So Canadians, cost of living moved up a lot. Canadians are getting ahead. It's going to take longer for that to fully realize, but every month Canadians' wages are growing faster than the rate of inflation. In terms of major projects, we have shifted the whole process for major projects. We've green-lighted Contrecoeur, that's moving forward. We've approved a series of natural gas projects that are moving forward. We just approved 2 of the largest uranium projects in the world in the course of the last month. We approved an gas pipeline in British Columbia. We are moving forward with projects such as Bay du Nord off Newfoundland. There's a series of others. You and I were just in the Northwest Territories announcing a series of measures, including the Mackenzie Valley Highway, which is a project that has been on the books my entire lifetime. I'm not a young man anymore. It's been on the books the entire lifetime. And this summer, we will have shovels in the ground on Mackenzie Valley Pipeline. I can go on. We've removed all the federal barriers from interprovincial trade. So there's more to do, without question. But we have moved forward on a very wide range of issues, including cutting taxes for 22 million Canadians, including removing taxes for first-time home buyers, including cutting capital gains tax, including having the lowest corporate tax rate on investment in the G7, 4.5 percentage points less than the United States. That is something that didn't exist before I became Prime Minister. It's something that exists now. And I'll say one other thing in terms of discussions here, and I too would like to hear from the Norwegian Prime Minister, is that we have a tax system now and an investment offer across, since the questions have some of them been about energy, across energy, clean and conventional energy, which is far and away the most attractive in the G7. And we're seeing the impact of that. We've seen inbound in terms of interest in investing in Canada and movement, as we've seen in LNG, as we're seeing in conventional oil, and as we will soon see in renewables.
Do one last question very quick to the Norwegian media. To the Norwegian media, please.
Støre, Norwegian TV2, please, to Mr. Prime Minister. Given we currently have an American administration that's taken aggressive, even hostile actions versus trade against both Canada and Norway and the rest of Europe, is this a time to increase the cooperation between Canada and the European countries like Norway, and have you discussed any concrete measures in that direction during your stay here?
Well, the first thing is to say it's always a good time to increase cooperation, both security and economic cooperation between Canada and Norway, specifically Canada and the EFTA countries, Canada and the European Union, and then more broadly. We're like-minded countries. We have very complementary economies. We value labor codes, we value sustainability, innovative economies. So we're always, and we share, and to go to the specifics of the discussions that we had yesterday and that we'll have this evening, we'll have tomorrow with Nordic colleagues, we share some common security concerns as well. And so deeper security cooperation is necessary. It's our first job as governments, but part of what comes from that is opportunities to cooperate in providing that security. So there are economic benefits that come from that, and that's something that's really changed. So I just take your question. I understand the spirit of it, but I would turn it to the positive. What we're doing is necessary and good for us in the geopolitical environment and given the nature of the countries and economies that we have. Thank you.
Mr. Støre, are your Norwegian companies interested in investing in Canada, and would it result in jobs anytime soon?
Well, I think the Prime Minister just described a major energy undertaking by Equinor, which is the big Norwegian energy company, which is a huge project, which is going to create a great number of jobs, income to local and central authorities, and produce energy. So that's just one point of reference. And then we have been through a list of areas that Norway and Canada where we can deepen cooperation in connection with the Prime Minister's visit. And I was really so positively surprised to see in the really key areas of our times that we have so much we can do together: energy, artificial intelligence, digitalization of our economies, security, we made reference to that, critical minerals. So here, the like-mindedness is really based on some key economic foundations. So yes, and I would really say that, with Prime Minister Carney during this year, has made a real new boost in that relationship across the Atlantic. And we sometimes call Canada an honorary Nordic. And we're happy, I'm happy when I ask my Nordic colleagues that Prime Minister will be here during this weekend. They all said Sunday morning we'll come to Oslo. And I think that tells the story. I have 4 of my colleagues coming in for a Sunday morning session. So there's a lot to do here, which is, positive in this world. And in relation to the US, I think, we are allies, but we also are aware that the rest of the allies need to take more responsibility and to do it in a very cohesive way. And what we did yesterday in the north with the German Chancellor is very significant. It's very significant because it's really deepening that pillar of the transatlantic cooperation.
Thank you, everyone. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you.